Hello, and welcome to the Worm Show. I'm your host, Thorn Jules. Now what do we have here? This little deer is Molly. She's my adopted 14-year-old mini schnauzer, and she's an absolute joy. I thought I'd say hello. And who do we have over here? It's Billy making a cameo. Hi, Billy boy. He's been staying with me this weekend. Say hi, Beebs. Hi, buddy. Yes. And here we have the box of life. Now, if I can get the camera set up properly. We have a bit of extra bedding today. And not as much food as I fed the worms last time. I figured I would feed them and then add a little bedding as necessary today. And then I also have, towards the end of the video, I have a new, well, I don't know what I would call it, but we'll see, we'll get there. So I have not opened this up since the last time. Rewatching these videos, I notice I clear my throat all the time. It sounds a bit silly after a while, but anyhow. There's a lot of activity in here. There is a heck of a lot of movement, I should say. I'm not sure how much you can see, but there is a lot going on in there. There's definitely some worm activity. You can see this one here. Oh. And then there's a lot of insect life as well. I'd really like to know what all of these things are, and I need to look into it. Although perhaps by the time I post this video, I will have found out. I'm not sure. This is all a process of making things up as I go along. Okay, so I'm going to just lift this up. It is absolutely covered. Look at that. Covered in eggs and other, like these little creatures that are just moving around and having a great time. That's impressive. It's really, really impressive. And here we are. There's a lot of bedding and food mixed in together. There's been a lot of activity, obviously. I can even see like whole burrowing and tunneling and like just a whole lot of stuff going on. I'm really impressed. I'm not exactly sure what to do. I must admit that in this process, there are instructions and there's a Facebook group and there's all sorts of places I could go to find out and be schooled on what I'm doing, on how to do this properly. And as you may have noticed, my the process I have been following, is more along the lines of shooting from the hip, really, making it up as I go along. No doubt that leaves me open to making mistakes and not doing things right. But that's just how we're gonna roll. I get a sense that the worms are very happy. They seem like they're active in here. There's definitely a lot of food still left over and plenty of bedding. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I didn't grab a lot of food this time around. I figured this would be the case. I had a feeling that this is what I would open this thing up to and find. And then there's definitely there's quite some small worms here, so that suggests to me that they are breeding nicely and that there's lots of babies kicking around. So I'd say overall that looks good to me. I don't know how much I want to disturb, you know, like all this stuff here, like, because there's a lot of, I mean, I feel like every time I put the spoon in, I'm doing damage, I know. So I don't want to do that. So instead, I'm just going to lightly kind of splatter the top. And I think probably what I will do is, after this feeding, and when I put the more bedding down, I might just let the box sit for a couple of weeks. Take a break from it. I mean, there's tons of food. There's plenty of moisture, so I really suspect it to, you know, if I give myself a break, and if I give the box a break, 2 weeks will be fine. There will be no ill effects, I'm sure of that. And just give the worms a little bit of like time and space, and you know, I won't bother them. There's obviously plenty of food. There's still, even though I haven't fed the bottom layer in, I don't know, like, it's got to be months now. Certainly several weeks. And I haven't fed that layer, and it's still, the worms are in there, and they still seem to be happy, so. Alright, well, I think that looks fine to me. I will sort of spread a little bedding on just to cover the food that I put down. I haven't done this before, in the sense of sort of feeding the whole box and then going somewhat rogue. The instructions, I'm making a mess on my rug as well. The instructions are very much to put the food in quadrant, in these sort of sections, in the corners. Is that quadrant? Am I getting that right? I am a bit of an English nerd, vocabulary, but anyhow. And at this stage, yeah, we're just going to go for it. We're just going to see what happens, right? Why not? Why not? I don't know exactly when to put the next layer on. I'm sure that I should probably do that soon, and maybe I should do that very soon. Leave a comment if you want to tell me what I should do next. I'd love to get some feedback. That would be wonderful. And if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate a subscription. I guess that didn't go through the shredder. Yeah, please subscribe. It's free. I hope we've earned your subscription. If not, please keep watching until we do. Yeah, okay. I think that may be enough. We'll try to work clean. Except for the rug, apparently. Not so clean. And then I'm going to be putting down decided to put down a new cloth. This is an old shirt of mine. I've had for several years at this point, but it was, I mean, like, it had holes in the armpits and everything. Build communities, not jails. I am a police and prison abolitionist. And hey, if that earns your unsubscription, yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but anyhow, I think we should build communities, and if we did so, we would not need so many jails. Right, well, I'm going to leave that there. I figure I'm not quite sure what to do in terms of like how to transfer all of the, like, this stuff here. Like, I don't want to, like, obviously remove any of these things. I don't want to, you know, harm. I'm not going to throw this out with all these, you know, eggs and creatures on top. I'm certainly not gonna throw them out with a worm on it. Look at that. That's a little baby worm. So I'm gonna put it back down, and I suspect what may happen. I suspect that for the creatures and maybe the eggs underneath that are now between the two layers, they hopefully will get out. They'll find their way out to get down back into where the food is, because they'll want to get to sustenance. And then on the top, maybe the same thing. Maybe that will work. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a piece of food. So yeah, hopefully the next time I open this, the worms will be just as happy, and everything will be sorted. We shall see. We will keep you posted. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, how they deal with this new. Because I think it's time for me. I wanted to have one that's larger, so I'm gonna see what happens. I've covered that, but anyhow, we shall see. And then I will put down the bedding. All right. Now, I'm very curious. Before I go ahead and put the top back on, I want to check just quickly to see what's going on in the bottom here. There's still a lot going on. Can we see? Can you see? Look at all those wiggly guys at the bottom there. Look at all of that at the bottom. So there's definitely some transfer between the two. And there's a lot going on in there. It's very probably... It's probably difficult for you to see. Probably maybe very... maybe, I'm not sure if you can see it all, but along the side there, there's just so many of those. Like, it's wild. I think there's more of those little bugs in there. Then there are many, many, many more of those little bugs in there than there are worms. Like, I don't know. I mean, can you see that? That is just like, it's just, they're just covered. That's amazing. Wow. Okay. So there's still a lot going on there. And maybe, because I get the sense now, well, I get the sense that maybe I should be moving putting the top, the third layer on top soon. I just want to, every time I do this, there's more worms. There's so many worms. I suspect that I'm going to need to help to bring them back up. Oh, this is just Worm City. There's so many worms. What I'm fearful of is that they won't be able to make the transition from the top to the bottom, and that they'll, you know, obviously that dry out or die in the bottom. Now that's of course a nightmare situation. It's possible, and I really don't want to have that happen. So okay, so I think that that's enough to sort of get them settled once I put this thing back on top. I imagine it's not the most pleasant experience for the worms that just got smushed, but they're being smushed between their own poo and food, which is a weird place to be. I mean, we're all familiar with a rock and a hard place, and I don't know what. So maybe it is the opposite. Okay, all right. I think that's okay. I think that's all right. Thank you very much for watching. Let's see, does it fit? With that extra bedding on top, it's a little bit full, but that's okay. That's okay. I think the idea of just sort of giving it a bit of extra time to cook is probably not a bad idea. And there we have it. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for sticking with me and the worms all the way to the end. I'm really impressed that the dogs have been so quiet, and I would have to say thank you to them as well, my little furry co-hosts. I'm shooting this video on a day that I'm actually, I have to admit, feeling pretty low. And it felt like it was important for me to push through and to record this, and I'm a keep on keeping on kind of person. Resilience is important to me. And I just wanted to say thank you very much. On the one hand, I appreciate you watching this, the audience that I don't yet know. And I will also say that I appreciate having the sense that this has a point. I'm not exactly sure what the point is, but I'm going to believe that it does have a point, and I'm going to keep pushing on. We're going to keep on keeping on. Righto, well, thanks again. That's enough from me, your host, Thorn Jules. From Molly, Billy, and the Worms. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.